Today, we're gonna make mushroom stuffed chicken served over nothing, but it's gonna be good, so you're gonna wanna get your cocktail. I'm Joe Powell, and we're cooking drunk. We have a lot of different ingredients and a lot of different steps to go over today. So we're gonna simplify it, but we do have chicken breast, we have sliced mushrooms, we have minced mushrooms, we have some chicken stock, we have chopped, Rick fucking Perry, chopped onions, butter, we have chopped garlic, 5 or 6 cloves, that's about a half of chopped onion, and we have a chopped shallot, very important. The first thing we're gonna do, and we have some cream of mushroom soup. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna saute up these mushrooms with the chopped onions, a little Worcestershire, salt and pepper, maybe a little lemon pepper, and we're gonna put that in with the chicken stock into the cream of mushroom soup, and we're gonna let that warm up and we'll use it a little bit later. So while we have mushrooms and onions and butter and salt and pepper and a little Worcestershire sauteing up in a pan, please note we're just gonna saute that lightly. We're not gonna saute it for a whole bunch. We just wanna soften it up a little bit, give a little bit of flavor before we put it into cream of mushroom soup. So while that is happening, we're gonna prepare the chicken, and I'm gonna show you how to cut open a chicken breast. Be very careful. I do this a lot, so it's okay that I'm shit-faced and cutting open the chicken breast. But you at home should take caution and probably get this done before the drinking commences. Okay? So you want to do is just grab the chicken breast, put it on your cutting board, slide in your knife, and just move it back and forth, cutting open a pretty deep pocket. Once you get the chicken breast open, then you want to go through and maybe scrape it a little bit to make sure that cuts pretty deep. You don't want to go through the other side. You do want to just leave a pocket so that you can get the stuffing in the center. So we are in fact melting this butter for the second saute, and into that we're going to put the garlic. Make sure you get it all in there. We're going to add the shallots last. We're going to add the mushrooms, the big old bowl of mushrooms. And we use a lot of mushrooms because we want a lot of filling, and any leftover can go over the top of the chicken. You want to let that soften in the butter and the garlic. Okay, so now that that's softened a little bit, we're going to go ahead and add the shallots. Now the shallots, as opposed to onions, have a much more delicate texture, and they have a strong taste, and it's just a little more, not quite so white trashy, which is good with any recipe that you're using cream of mushroom soup in. You want to try to avoid looking like white trash. And it's important to soften up those mushrooms and garlic, the mushrooms and the garlic before, because the shallots are softer and they don't need as much. So into that we're going to put the rest of the chicken stock. I did add some to the cream of mushroom soup, which incidentally is on low because if you don't put it on low, it'll get all gunky and gross. You just want it to get warm and softened up a little bit. And I didn't mention that we have more shitty white wine, and we're going to use that, about a half a cup, in the saute. I did use salt and pepper, and we're going to add some Worcestershire, because I can't live without this shit. And you want to bring that up to just a boil, and then we're going to let that simmer. So while the mushroom mix with the garlic is softening up a little bit, we're going to salt and pepper these chicken breasts that we sliced earlier. A lot of people don't think the salt and pepper is a good enough spice, and sometimes it's all you need. You don't need an Italian mix. You don't need Mrs. Dash. You don't need any of that shit. Just a good layer of salt and pepper rubbed into the surface of your meat, and you're good to go. Okay, so we brought this to a boil, and we're gonna let it reduce. Reducing is when you get rid of all the moisture, or most of the moisture, and you let it reduce through boiling. See the little bubbles? Let the water go up in the air, which creates a steam, and it flies off to La La Land and becomes a GOP candidate. So we're gonna let this reduce a little bit more. Smells really good. If you find it's getting a little dry, a little too fast, you can always add a little more shitty white wine. So we finished reducing the mushroom mix, and we're going to, and this is what it looks like. It's kind of like a relish. Anyway, you could put cheese in it. I choose not to because I like a more delicate flavor, and it's already this far from being something you take to a Lutheran potluck. So what we're gonna do, and we've taken the cream of mushroom soup off of the stove, and it's sitting on my Pampered Chef plastic hot pad. And we're gonna stuff these chicken breasts. You take the chicken breast that we've created the pocket in, and you're gonna spoon just a couple of spoonfuls of the mushroom mixture. You wanna make sure it gets in there real deep and that you fill it up pretty full, such as this. A lot of people are gonna tell you they wanna reclose up the chicken breast, it's gonna cook together. You don't need to do that. If you wanna do that, you can. If you have all kinds of fucking time on your hands, you could do that. I, on the other hand, I'm just gonna press it shut and let it be and place it into the pan. Okay? So while we freshened up our drink, I freshened up my drink. And now we're gonna take the mushroom soup mixture, which is a little thin. I probably shouldn't have added as much chicken stock as I needed to, as I did. You're gonna pour this over the chicken breasts, and we're gonna bake that for about we're gonna bake it for about 30 minutes at 400 degrees, depending on when the chicken's done. Incidentally, if it weren't for the chicken, this would be a great sauce to make for vegetarians and the chicken stock, because it's all it's got is mushrooms and vegetables and all that stuff in it. So it's not a bad thing. You don't have to tell them it has chicken in it. They can eat it. God, clearly I need a publicist. Except I'm not the Arizona Humane Society. So we're gonna put the rest of this mixture on, and we're gonna stick that in the oven. Well, that took a lot longer than I thought it was going to. It took almost an hour. It took so long my dog left. I don't know where he went. It came out beautifully. I suggest that you take the mushroom mixture and serve it over egg noodles and maybe steam some asparagus and add some lemon butter to it. I'm Joe Powell and we're cooking.